switching to 2.8. The settings to the exact same.
Welcome everyone to the Richmond Oval, where the top 6 wheelchair rugby teams in the world have gathered for the 2024 Canada Cup of Wheelchair Rugby, and this is a great tournament being hosted here at the Richmond Oval. My name is Wilson Long, here with Adam Foster to provide the commentary for this game between Canada and Australia to open the tournament here at the Richmond Oval. And great to welcome you, Adam. This is our first time broadcasting, and we hope the game, our broadcast, will be as good as the exciting matchup here between these two top teams.
Yeah, thanks, Wilson. Good morning, everybody. Let's hope that this is an exciting game. Two gentlemen sitting here.
We will try to stay out of your way. We want you to enjoy the game as best you can. Canada will be in black with red numbering, and Australia will be in yellow with green numbering and trim. You're watching live coverage of the Canada Cup on CBC Sports and on the BC Wheelchair Sports YouTube channel.
Well, it sounds like we have a bit of a clock issue, so teams will head to their benches. And
got a minute and 5 on the clock. It stopped, and I think this will give us a chance to maybe talk a little bit about the Canadian team, the host team at this event, and their starting 4 here on the court.
Well, Canada is starting 3-5-2-2.5, which in wheelchair rugby we refer to as a balanced lineup, where 3 higher point players and 1 low point player. Look for obviously number 33, Zach Nadal, to do most of the heavy lifting for Team Canada. But the nice benefit to this line is they do have 3 ball carriers. So, should be able to move the ball around and see if they can spread out the try scoring. Whereas Australia will start with its traditional high-low. Look for Riley back and respond to Canada majority of the time.
And the 2.5 players for Australia are James McQuillan and number 11, Bo Vernon. And taking the opening tip is Australia. Bat wearing number 3 for the Aussies. Bring the ball over center. Up the court, and the first score goes to Australia as Bond converts for the Aussies.
Yeah, reasonably easy first try there for Team Australia. Good job by Riley and Chris to hook the ball up together. See if Canada can take advantage on their first possession.
Quickly up the center, Medell will get the inbounds pass and find his way across the line to tie the game at 1. Vernon will look to put the ball back into play here for Australia. Finding Bond at the sideline.
Good job by Canada to pressure there. They were able to create that turnover when Australia has one of their low points inbound. Range on those inbounds isn't quite as far, so that means that Australia has to come close to him to get the ball. And Zach and the other defender were able to pressure Chris at the danger zone on the side there and create the turnover.
Medell for Canada over on the left side. Moving to his right, back across, and Canada will take the lead here 2-1 on that score.
Yeah, good key attack there by Canada. 2 options really for Zach on the pass there, and found Letourneau on the far side.
And the response comes right away for Australia as Bond once again crosses the line for a score 2-2. He's got both scores for Australia. Cody Caldwell putting the ball into play. Big collision over on the far sideline. Gets the pass back, working against Bat. Down for Medell. He corrals the ball. Contacted from behind, but he will find his way into the scoring area to give Canada a 1-point lead. Canada setting up its defense, trying to disrupt the high point players for Australia.
Yeah, once again, Canada being able to take advantage of that low pointer inbound and get a deny against Australia, where they weren't able to get the ball in, forced the inbounder to take Australia's first timeout. See if Canada can continue to take advantage of the low pointer inbounding, if that's what Australia continues to do.
With this timeout, Canada will take a 3-2, it's a 3-2 score for Australia. So I've got the scoreboard wrong. It's 3-2 for Canada here. They are indeed the guest team on the scoreboard. 6:46 left to go in the first quarter. Ball down to Australia, which will tie the game here on that score for from Bond. Now the Canadians trying to get the ball into play. Caldwell double teamed and passed back to Letourneau. Bat knocks the ball away, goes out of bounds, and it will stay with Canada.
Yeah, nice job by Riley there to create pressure on Letourneau. Knock that ball out of bounds. One thing Australia really likes to do on defense is get Riley matched up one-on-one versus a lower point player than him, and even 1-on-2 against 2 lower point players. That's such a great job on defense.
Medell gives Canada the lead again for 3. And Vernon will inbound. Bond nearing the center court line, takes a bounce, finding Bat, and he will corral the ball and ease it in over the line to level the game again at 4-4. Caldwell wearing number 9 for Canada. For Furtado Rodriguez. Caldwell over to the sideline. Medell. Collision with Bond, but he will find Caldwell working one-on-one, and now over on that far side is Letourneau scoring for the home team, the host team, 5-4.
Yeah, good job by Canada to take advantage of all the space on the court to score that try.
And Bat taking a pretty direct route down the floor for Australia, and he will level the score here at 5-5.
Won't be the first time you say that this afternoon. Last time.
Yep, and he's done that for many, many years on this circuit. Medell getting ahead of Bat, and then Medell trying to score, and he will do so against Bond.
Yeah, nice change of speeds there by Zach to get that try for Team Canada.
And I believe there needs to be some maintenance done on Vernon's chair.
Yeah, so this is an equipment timeout. When an athlete's chair malfunctions, they have 1 minute to fix it, or they need to sub.
One of the great sounds you hear in a game when you hear the chair hissing, the tires, the air going out. Bat at center, and play is stopped there.
Yeah, play was stopped as Riley made the pass, came forward out of his chair in the contact by the Canadian defense, fell on the Canadian player, which is a foul violation, so that will be a turnover, Canada's ball. So effectively Canada's second turnover of this first quarter, so give them a chance to take a 2-try lead.
A play like that certainly will get the coaches. I think that was...
looks like they gave a timeout to Australia, so take that back. Not a second turnover. Second timeout by Australia in this quarter, though.
And that play came, the call came as Vernon was just about to head over the line for the try. Nonetheless, it's 6-6, Canada and Australia here in the opening, one of the two opening games here of the Canada Cup wheelchair rugby tournament here in Richmond.
Contact in the back wheel there by number 21 from Australia, Nicholson, causing Letourneau to spin and come out of his chair. That'll be 60 seconds in the penalty box or less.
And subs coming in for Canada. 3 players coming in. Rio Kanada-Kovac, Trevor Hirschfield, and Patrice Dagenet. So 2 longtime veterans coming on the court along with the youngster Rio Kanada-Kovac.
Yeah.
We'll see what this lineup can do for Canada. 4-on-3 as Nicholson is off the floor for now. Ball into play. And on the sideline, Canada. Medell with possession. Kanada-Kovac. Back to Medell. Canada with the player advantage. And looking to run down the clock a little bit before Medell does cross the line for a try. It's 7-6. Nicholson now back in action. He will try to put the ball back into play. It's going to be Bat. Do a nice job of corralling that pass.
Yeah, nice job to get open as well. It was nice defense by Canada to try and deny him, but it's so difficult to stop him getting the ball.
And Bat will score. 7-7 between Canada and Australia. Australia ranked number 2 in the world, Canada number 5. Medell. Quick pass for Kovac. And they will score to make it 8-7.
Yep, nice vision by Zach there to see Rio open deep and get him the ball. Rio's first try of the tournament.
Now Bat can't be corralled in the backcourt. And he will easily score for Australia.
Unofficially, I believe that is Riley's 5th try in a row for Team Australia.
So Bond, I believe, had the first 2 in the game for the Aussies.
Yeah, first 3 by my count.
3, yep.
First 3. So Australia is back on key defense here. See what Canada does to attack that.
Dell can't find room on the left side. Now Nicholson will go and into the penalty area again.
Yeah, so when you're playing key defense like Australia was, you're only allowed to ever have 3 defenders in the key area. So Nicholson was the 4th player in the key and serve his second penalty of this quarter.
Canada quickly takes advantage of that extra player, and they will score again, 9-8. Nicholson trying to find an open teammate. Nice handoff there to Edmondson. And then over to Bat at center, working against Medell. And the lead pass goes off of Vernon. Oh, they'll say it went off of Kovac.
Yeah, nice pressure by Canada there to stop Riley from being able to advance the ball and force him to make the pass to the low pointer. And as you saw, when those happen, it is an opportunity for the other team to take advantage, and Canada almost did.
Bat quickly finding room on this near side, and he will score. It's tied 9-9. Opening quarter here between Canada and Australia. Kovac against Nicholson, and a blown tire there.
Yeah. 60 seconds to get that fixed.
We're tied 9-9, 3:15 to go here in the first quarter, and not a surprise to have such a close game between these two. They played at the Paralympic qualification tournament in New Zealand. Canada and Australia went to overtime in the final, and the Australians won 49-48. So, as always, some really exciting wheelchair rugby played between these two teams.
Yeah, really good games these days between these two teams. Australia still tends to win more than they lose, but Canada's definitely closed the gap, and you know, can come close to winning a lot of games now.
And Medell lost the ball for a second, grabbed it, and able to convert for Canada to give his team the 1-point lead. Now Bat still able to score here. Looks like he'll run down the shot clock a little bit. Finally moves through. And when he has the ball, he just is able to control the game play at whatever pace he wants.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure why they were trying to stall at that particular point in time, but I'm sure they had their reason.
So Medell trying to get over the half-court line, working against Bat. It's a 3-on-2 down low, and it's Kovac scoring again for Canada. 11-10 for the team in black and red. Edmondson for Australia now. Ball back into play for Bat. Vernon tries to run a pick for him. Great job by Canada in the backcourt. Vernon wheeling onto the ball, grabbing control and scoring. So Australia converting with a low point player scoring.
Yeah, nice job there for him to leak out, make himself available down the court so Riley can make that pass to him and end his try-scoring streak.
Medell hit by Edmondson. Curling over to his right, trying to find room down low.
Penalty goal there for Canada as Medell knocked the low pointer across the try line.
Shot clock is reset, the possession clock at 40. And Australia trying to move the ball out of the crowd. And once again, Vernon finding room down by the line and scoring for Australia. It's 12-12 as we approach the final minute and 28 seconds of the first quarter. Kovac slowed a bit there in the backcourt. Getting help from his teammate Hirschfield. Kovac one bounce and he will move to the right side and score. Now subs coming in subs on the way for Canada. 1:06 to go in the opening quarter. Canadians 13, Aussies 12, and the Canadians now force a turnover.
Yeah, once again, nice defense by Canada there, working hard, 3 of them on Riley to stop him from getting the first touch of that ball. And really, when you're playing Australia, that's the key to defending this team.
Canada will try to take advantage here in the last minute, and they do. Letourneau getting the try there. Just over a minute left in this quarter. 14-12 Canada. Bat. Lob pass for Bond. Back to Bat. About a 20-second difference between the game clock and the possession clock. Bat at the basketball foul line, and then we'll roll in for the try. 34.4 seconds to go in this first quarter. Canada 14, Australia 13. It's Letourneau. Has a pass tipped back to him by Furtado Rodriguez. The ball loose on the sideline, and it will be Australia ball. So Australia.
Yeah, nice job by the Australian defense there to take advantage of that. I thought perhaps the inbounder Letourneau would have been more wise to use a timeout there. There was a lot of pressure to get that ball in and a lot of room. But we'll see what Australia can do with the final possession here.
You hear the countdown. 9 seconds now on the clock. Bat. Pass down to the line. And a score there for Bond with exactly 3 seconds left in the quarter. And Caldwell will just accept the pass and run out the clock here. Australia with an impressive stretch late to tie the game at 14 to end the first quarter here in this matchup here at the Canada Cup.
Yeah, good job by both teams. 2 turnovers against Australia, 1 against Canada in that first quarter. I think both effective defense led to those turnovers. So I'm sure both teams will try to continue those tactics, see if they can create some more turnovers. And for the most part, I think the teams did a great job of sort of playing to their strengths. Australia got the ball into the hands of Riley or Chris quite a bit. Those two worked the ball up the court together. Canada took advantage of all the space on the court and were able to pass it around and have some even scoring between some of their players as well.
In terms of the younger players you see on the Canadian roster, who are some of the players that have impressed you and are sort of on the rise here in this sport?
Well, the first advantage is one of the athletes we saw during that quarter, of course, Rio Kovac, who's been part of the national team program now for a few years, but it's really just started to see himself in that top 12. Had some very impressive performances over Canada's last couple of tournaments, and I think will be a big part of Canada's future moving forward. We've got Anthony Letourneau, who's sort of worked his way up the ranks in the Class 2s, or at least that's what it appears to me for Canada. He sort of seems to have taken over Travis's starting spot for that lineup, and he's been in the program for 5 or 6 years now, and sort of solidifying his spot as one of the starters. And then, we've got a couple of younger players that we haven't seen come off the bench yet. Hopefully they'll get an opportunity, if not this game, throughout the tournament, and we can see how they do. But Joel Ruert is an example of one of those players. So
yeah, we are just sort of on that road to Paris and the Paralympics, and certainly these two teams will be in medal contention, and of course we've got the top 6 teams in the world. So this is really a mini Paralympic preview for the summer coming up here in Paris.
Yeah, I think there's not a lot of difference between the 6 teams we're going to see here this weekend. I think that any of these teams can beat any of the other teams on given days. Obviously there is a world ranking, and the teams at the top are there for a reason. But yeah, I'm excited to see how all the teams do and how they look against each other. It's a tricky tournament as it's so close to the Paralympic Games. In my opinion, you always want to win, and you're here to win. And if you win, I think that gives you certainly a boost of confidence that you could win heading into the Paralympics. But you also want to, you're not quite sure who you're going to play yet, and not sure you want to be showing all of your stuff. Save something for when you get to when it really counts this summer in Paris, right? So.
And just coming in, the thought was maybe Australia would maybe experiment with some different types of lineups, but they opened with one that we expected.
Yeah, well, I'm confident that almost everybody on the Australia bench and probably the Canadian bench will see some action, probably this game, if not. Definitely during the tournament. Brad has never been shy, in my opinion, about using his whole bench, so I'm sure we'll see most of the players.
And Canada opening the scoring in the second quarter to retake the lead, and Australia able to respond as Edmondson getting across the try line there.
Yeah, and already we see that Brad has taken Riley off and is not using him for this portion of the game. So perhaps that's not something we would see if we were in Paris. So
also on the court for Australia, newly into this game, Ella Sabeljack wearing number 1. As Medell scores for Canada, and we have another equipment timeout here.
And we're seeing Canada's first go at their more traditional high-low here with 3-5-3, 1.5, with Mike Whitehead seeing his first action of this game.
Whitehead wearing number 8 for the home team. Ball into Bond. Triple teamed, and Bond will find Edmondson. Edmondson across center. Squeezes past a couple of defenders and scores. 16 points each for Canada and Australia. Early parts of this second quarter. Quick outlet pass, it's Medell breaking free from the crowd, and he will score to give Canada a 17-16 lead.
Yeah, nice job by Canada. Take advantage of their speed on that possession.
Now referee's timeout. Going to reset the clock here, I believe, to 7:03. And Australia will inbound. It's Sabeljack. Edmondson. Big crowd at center working against Medell. And down to Bond, back to Edmondson. There's some big collisions there. Edmondson, though, still able to find some room, working down towards the key. Back to Bond, working against Medell. Bond. So Australia calls a timeout. It looked like Bond, I think, was in danger of getting knocked out by the cone over on the far side, I believe.
Yeah, it's tough to see for us, obviously, through all the players, but it looked like from here that he did have a violation, that he did his wheel cross the line and then came back out again. However, timeout was called to stop that from happening, so that's or stop the turnover from happening. So that's Australia's third timeout here this first half. And they'll keep possession with the ball of the ball with 15 seconds now on the try clock for them to try to score. And, you know, really Canada needs to try and take advantage of this lineup. Whenever Riley's off the court, you definitely want to be in the positive side. So, you know, if Australia can go even or even score more tries than Canada on this particular portion of the game, then I'm sure they'll be very happy with that.
And Bond does score there. It's 17 points apiece now. Very closely contested match between Canada and Australia. Whitehead, Medell. And quickly going down the floor after breaking free near center, and he will make no mistake there as he crosses the line to make it 18-17 for Canada. Edmondson, double teamed in the backcourt. Out to Bond. And the Australians doing a good job there to convert and level the score here at 18 points apiece.
Yeah, nice job by Edmondson so far with this shift for him. You know, Canada's put a lot of pressure on him when he's had the ball, and he's made a lot of good plays under that pressure, in my opinion.
Whitehead across the center line, working against Edmondson. Finds Medell, who was able to get past Sabeljack, and then Bond for the score. 19-18 for Canada. Bond, Edmondson, and just squeezing in at this near sideline for the score. Medell finding Whitehead, and he is in free.
Yeah, nice job by Canada. Some good communication there, and Mike was able to leak out, and Zach could find him for the turn.
Sabeljack in for Edmondson. Pushed backwards. Quickly, Bond finds Sabeljack. It's a 2-on-1 play down low, and Vernon able to retrieve the pass and score.
Yeah, he's done a very good job of leaking out in this game so far and being available when needed be. It's his third try by my count.
Whitehead looking for Medell, finds him, and he breaks the tie again. It's 21-20. We haven't had very many seconds in this game where the difference has been more than a point, and it's been so exciting here.
Yeah, not yet. So I hope it stays that way the whole way. It's exciting right to the end.
Once again, we are level. 21 points now for each team as Bond gets the try. Whitehead. Waddell. Slowed down in the backcourt and forced to call a timeout.
Yeah, nice timeout there by Canada. They had 3 seconds to go according to the shot clock to get the ball over half, and nobody was moving, so probably a good decision there.
We have 3 remaining in this half.
Three timeouts remaining in the game.
In the game, pardon me. I am just not reading that score correctly today. And often in these close games, you come right down to the end and suddenly one team is able to break away, and you need to have those timeouts with you at the end to really kind of stop the momentum of another team if needed.
It's nice to have them at the end of the game if you need them, for sure. When you're playing these games, you're trying to get the other teams to use all their timeouts if you can. But I do find that teams, when they use their timeouts early, often when they play with no timeouts, they're much looser, and then they don't seem to need them as often.
An outlet pass intended for Bat, and he just couldn't get to the end of it. Turnover against Australia.
Yeah, nice defense there by Canada. Put number 23 there, Warren, in a bit of a precarious position, forced to make that long pass to Riley, and he just wasn't able to reel it in.
And Whitehead working against Warren, number 23 for Australia, and Whitehead will get to the try line and over. It's 23-21. A rare 2-point gap between these two teams in this game.
Yeah, not for long.
As Warren quickly making an impact in this game, getting on the score sheet.
Yeah, an impact at both ends of the court, as he was at the wrong end of that last pass, but the right end of this try. So
Whitehead to Medell. Gets some help at center with a pick, and then gets to the scoring area. It's 24-22 Canada.
yeah.
3:28 to go in the second quarter. Warren. Quick lob pass to Bat, and a foul in the backcourt.
Yeah, legal use of hands there by number 10, Trevor Hirschfield. Serve 60 seconds in the box, and Australia will get another inbound and a reset on the shot clock, try clock.
Have a 4-on-3 advantage now as Warren
Yeah,
freed up, and then now Bat taking the pass.
yeah, you typically see some really soft defense when you have one player in the penalty box. When you're the team who's a man down, you just can't afford to take a penalty during that time because the player stays in the penalty box and not worth the risk.
With that last score, Hirschfeld coming back on the floor, with Canada able to regain its 2-point lead, 25-23. Pat going to his right. Pass back into the middle for Warren, and he will score again.
Yeah, pretty easy try there for Australia against Canada's D. We'll see if they keep that tactic up and see if they can tighten up that portion of their game.
Waddell to Whitehead. He's free and into the clear for another point for Canada. 26-24, they lead Australia. Warren receiving the pass, working against a double team, trying to find some room. Quickly down the floor, and Bat will retrieve the loose ball and score.
I thought that inbound was actually going to Riley, and that Warren didn't know he was behind him and reached up and grabbed it.
Looked like Bat actually would have had much more space coming up the floor had he had got that pass.
Yeah.
Whitehead with Medell to his right, and he will take the ball in himself. Canada maintaining its 2-point lead, 27-25, 2:07 to go in the second quarter. Bat for Australia with possession. Quick pass down the sideline. And 5 players on the sideline. It is a held ball.
Yeah, held ball. So Australia will retain possession with 23 seconds to go in the try clock. Nice pressure defense once again by Canada to get the ball into one of the lower point players. And obviously one of the tactics in wheelchair rugby is to force the hands into the people with less ball into the hands of the people with less function. Try to see if you can take advantage of that. And that's exactly what Canada did there.
They'll still have to play defense here as Bond will quickly move the ball to Vernon. And he has been impressive as a low point player on the offensive end in this game as Australia gets back to within 27-26. Caldwell. Not a lot of room on his side of half, and Medell will call a timeout.
Yeah, Canada's second timeout of this quarter, and once again, good defensive pressure here by this starting lineup of Australia, the high-low. Once again, Riley working really hard to stop the ball and force the passes, and nice decision by Medell to not force the ball into a dangerous passing area.
Caldwell with possession for Canada, being defended by Riley Bat. 12 to try to get the ball over the line. Medell into the key. And Canada will back in there for a score. Letourneau making it 28-26.
Yeah, things are getting a little dicey on the try clock there, so good job by Canada, though, to score before it expired.
And Bond weaving his way through for a score. So we are in the final minute of the second quarter. Canada ahead 28-27 with 58 seconds to go in this quarter. Caldwell. Quick pass down low, and a wide open Letourneau will score for Canada.
Yeah, with 49 seconds to go in half here, that should give Canada the last possession of the half if they want to attempt to score the last try. Although Australia's going to...
Ball's knocked loose, and Medell will recover the loose ball. Canada a chance to take a 3-point lead here late in the half. Medell working on the sideline against Bat.
Yeah, I think Coach Code pointed out, I think Riley got away with a little bit of grab of the chair there. So give them an opportunity to still foil this last goal attempt by Canada.
Caldwell. Down low, Letourneau will score with 6.2 seconds left on the clock. Canada leads 30-27. Its biggest lead of the game. Bat trying to respond. The clock didn't start.
Well, they have to re-inbound that ball with 6.2 seconds to go. It's an unfortunate error by the scorekeeper, but we're all volunteers here, and forgive the odd mistake.
And certainly it's a big crew of volunteers here at the Richmond Olympic Oval to put this great event on. Bat in the backcourt. Pass down towards the goal line. No one for Australia there. So Canada, with a late surge, will take a 30-27 lead into the break. They lead the first game of the Canada Cup tournament of wheelchair rugby here at the Richmond Olympic Oval.
Yeah, 3-try lead for Canada. They should have possession to start, possession of the ball to start the third quarter. So give them an opportunity to go up by 4, and I think they'll be happy with that quarter. Obviously, they created a couple of turnovers to give themselves a 3-try cushion, but, you know, they did it against perhaps Australia's not strongest lineups, and, you know, if you are Canada, you want to take advantage of those situations, and I think that, you know, certainly don't count Australia out here. We know they can score quick. We know they have a couple of the best players in the world, and see if they make any adjustments and can claw their way back in as we work our way through the second half.
Well, we're going to take a short break here on commentary, but we will be back for the second half at the Richmond Oval here. Once again, Canada leads at the half 30-27 over Australia. Welcome back to the Richmond Oval for Canada versus Australia in Canada Cup wheelchair rugby action here on CBC Sports and the BC Wheelchair Sports YouTube channel. Thanks for joining us here on this broadcast. My name is Wilson Wong here with Adam Frost, and we've got a 30-27 game in favor of Canada at the half. And what kind of things would you look for if you're a Canadian fan, Adam?
That's a great question, and I'm going to guess for you because I'm not 100% sure. I'd like to see, as a Canadian fan, see if Canada can extend their lead here in the third quarter. I'm not sure whether Coach Cote will give Mr. Medell a break this quarter, but maybe we come out with him, so if we can get a couple more try lead. Particularly score this first try of the second half. I think that's important for them. And then maybe have a look at some of the younger players on the bench and see how they do out there against some of these veterans here on Australia.
And for Australia, we saw in the first half, Riley Bat did come off the floor, and the players that were on the court actually did pretty well against Canada. How are they feeling about this game in terms of how comfortable are they with the pace and what's going on?
I think Australia is comfortable. They have been the best team in the world, arguably, and if not for sure, since 2012. So I certainly don't think this 3-try lead against Canada at this point is worrying them too much. Be interesting to see how they manage their bench. We can see once again that Mr. Bat is off the court to start this second half, and one of the things that we did notice, particularly in the first quarter, was the low point inbounding, which I think gave Australia a bit of difficulty getting the ball in. Would they continue to practice that, or will they go back to the more standard Chris Bond inbounding the ball, which has worked for them so well over the few years?
And Whitehead will open the scoring in the second half for Canada, and as you talked about, Canada does take the 4-try lead, 31-27. Now for Australia, it is Bond with the ball. It's also up there on the floor with Shea Graham.
It's her first minutes of this game, I believe.
Yes,
Yeah.
wearing number 12 for Australia. And then James O'Quillan and Andrew Edmondson, who was actually very impressive in that first half.
Yeah, once again, so Groats showed some great poise, in my opinion, under some good pressure from the Canadian defense.
Bat scoring for Australia to get his team back within 3 points. Canada will inbound. And it's Whitehead. Gets past 2 defenders and has some options down the court. It's Trevor Hirschfield wearing number 10 for Canada. He will find the scoring area. It's 32-28 for Canada. Graham, Edmondson, moving back towards the middle of the court. Cross center with a dribble. We're across to Bond. Australia spreading out the floor here as Bond trying to find room on the right side, and he scores.
Yeah, quite a bit of space for him to get around the low pointer there, Byron Green, and score in the closest cone to us.
Whitehead now trying to control the ball, finds Medell with a pass. And Medell breaking loose ahead of Bond, and he makes it 33-29 for Canada.
Yeah, nice burst of speed there by Zach to create some distance between him and Chris Bond.
Edmondson stopped by Medell, over to Graham. Graham halted by Medell again. A quick pass from Bond down low, and it's going to be Edmondson getting the try.
Yeah, nice job by Shea Graham there to get the ball over half against the 2 Canadians low pointers. I thought they had her, and she's using a defensive style chair, which is a little bit easier for the low pointers to pick into, but she's able to get the ball over half, and Australia scored the try.
And right back down the floor, Medell gets one back for Canada. And Graham finding Bond. And Graham then picks off Medell. And Bond will get the assist on Edmondson's score. 34-31, Australia down by 3. 5:40 to go in this third period here at the Richmond Oval. Canada and Australia in one of the 2 opening matches of the Canada Cup Wheelchair Rugby Tournament. Whitehead. One bounce and out to Medell in the perimeter. Collides there with Bond. Really patient possession there for Medell. Patient, comfortable. He finds the scoring area, and it's 35-31 Canada. Bond, wearing number 10 for the team in gold and green. Nearly has the ball knocked away. Retrieves it. Then nice pass down low, looking to his right for Edmondson.
Yeah, nice job by Edmondson to reel that in. The ball was kind of towards his back shoulder there, and he's able to lean back and secure it.
And a reply right away for Zach Medell of Canada. It's 36-32. So the Canadians built a 4-point lead right out of the break and have held it for this entire period so far. Edmondson, Bond, Medell nearly knocked the ball away with his back to the play.
Yeah, looked like a bit of a hoper pass from here, but able to execute, so well done by them.
Canadians looking to put the ball back in play. Whitehead is here on the near sideline, and then a timeout by Medell as he had one wheel off the floor at the sideline.
Yeah, saved that ball from going out. I was wondering what Canada was doing on that inbound there. It seemed like perhaps a little nonchalant to get the ball in. And the ball was clearly not coming into Whitehead way up here by half, so not sure exactly what Zach was thinking on that play there, but nonetheless, Canada maintains possession.
So Letourneau is on the floor for Canada along with Caldwell and Furtado Rodriguez along with Medell. And for Australia, Bat is back on the court along with Jake Howe. And I believe that is Emily Miller wearing number 2 for Australia into the game.
Yeah, her first action. So Australia back to a high-low lineup here, but running a 1.5 and getting that extra half point for having the female athlete on the court.
Bond is the other high point player out there for Australia as Letourneau gets the try, 37-33. So Canada forced to take a timeout, but they do score on that possession. Bond going left and then now moving to his right, weaving through the middle of the court and then easing his way in for the score. Caldwell into Medell. Back to Caldwell. Quick pass up the floor for Letourneau, and he is open for the try. 38-34 for Canada.
Yeah, nice pass there by Cody to Tony on the try line. Under the pressure of Bond at center. It's where you want to be attacking people in the what we call danger zones, so close to sidelines, close to center lines, close to try lines, those areas.
Bat now quickly wheeling through on the left side. Australia down 38-35. Canada looking to restore its 4-point lead. Letourneau, pass for Medal. He gets the ball ahead of Bat, who is nearly flipped over. And then Medal will score.
Yeah, Riley bounced right down and right back up again on that play off the front end of the low pointer for Canada, Rodriguez.
And he had a laugh about it afterwards, too. There's a man who can pretty much do everything on that court here for Australia, and he finds his teammate Bond in for the score. And really he has dominated this game for quite a long time here for Australia.
Yeah, I can remember first playing against him the first Canada Cup, I think that we hosted in 2005 when he was certainly a much younger man than he is now.
Medal, another veteran star of this sport, going in for the score. So it's I guess how to inbound for Australia and forced to call a timeout.
Yeah, another strong defensive play there by Canada with the low point inbounding the ball. You know that the two high pointers from Australia have to come towards him to receive that ball, which makes it much easier to defend the Australian team. So great job by Team Canada. And nice timeout by Australia there. It looks like, according to the score clock, both teams have one left, although I thought Australia had already used 3, but I must have miscounted.
And an update from the game on the next court here at the Richmond Oval. With just under 3 minutes to go in the third quarter, it is France 36 and the USA 31. And if you are local here to the Richmond, Vancouver area, we encourage you to come out to the Oval and catch these games in person. Really nothing like experiencing a game in person.
Yeah, it's a beautiful facility, and yeah, everybody should come on down and cheer on Team Canada when you can.
Certainly the collisions are louder, and the action is just better in person. But
yeah,
we are glad you can catch us here on the webcast, and we're glad to be able to provide some commentary for you. And there is a big collision there. But Canada not worried there as they score. Letourneau taking the hit from Riley Bat.
Yeah, nice job by him to absorb that hit from Riley. And you're right, first time you see the game live, it is impressive how loud it is when these chairs make contact with each other.
Seems like the intensity has gone up just a bit as we've been talking about it. Bond scoring for Australia to close his team to within 3 points again, 41-38. Letourneau for Canada, wearing black and red. Caldwell for Canada. Bat very aggressive and trying to knock the ball away, and it's a held ball. Caldwell does not like that call.
Yeah, good job by number 3 there on the goal to get his hand on the ball and create possession. Held ball is when two people have possession of the ball at the same time. And so, although not happy with the call.
Looking at the replay, it did seem like Bat, as we got a look at it on the video, looked like that was a pretty good call.
I can't think of too many times where I've ever seen the ball carrier happy with the referee on a held ball call.
Just like every other sport, right?
Yeah.
Bat triple teamed in front of his own bench, still able to find a open teammate. That's Bond, back to Bat. 22 seconds left in the possession. 2 minutes to go now in the third period. Bat still curling around the perimeter, trying to find room into the key, and T will finally break through and score. It's 40. They just gave the point to the wrong team, I believe, on the scoreboard, but it says 41-39 now.
Yeah, so two try lead for Canada at this point, and that actually was a big change of possession for Australia if they want to get back in this game. You know, Canada does have the ball to start the fourth quarter, so that would have allowed them to perhaps take it further. I'll shut up right now.
Well, big collision near center, and it's turnover back towards Canada, and boy, in a blink of an eye, they restore their 4-point lead, 43-39.
Yeah, I was watching, I was talking, so I didn't quite see what led to that turnover, but we'll assume it was good defense by Canada and not an unforced area by Australia. And there goes my theory about making the game closer and perhaps Australia clawing their way back here in the fourth.
So Australia looking to just run down the clock a little bit here as we near the end of the period. Bond.
Yeah, well, it is important that they score the last try of this quarter. Like I said, Canada is going to have the possession to start the fourth quarter, so that would give them perhaps even a 5-try lead at that point in time, which would be tough to come back against in one quarter. So Australia wants to keep the score as close as they can, keep it close into the fourth.
And that leads to the Australian defense there in the collision with Letourneau, but Letourneau able to get rid of the ball to Caldwell, finds Medell down low. And with 45.9 seconds left in the period, it's Canada 44, Australia 40.
Yeah, so Australia in good position here to score that last try, depending on how close to the end of the try clock they decide to score here, if they do score.
Bat in no hurry. Curls back towards center, being checked by Medell.
You see if they decide to call a timeout here and run the clock down as close to 0 as they can, but I'd be surprised if they do. You know, there's only going to be 5 or 6 seconds left on the game clock.
Bond at the line, and he will score. The Canadians trying to push him over.
Yeah, lots of time here for Canada. They can get the ball into the hands of Zach and his speed. Oops.
Ball turnover. It's intercepted by Riley Bat. 6 seconds to go in the quarter. Bat trying to find room, and he gets the ball to Vernon, who scores with a second left. A huge play there by Australia.
Yeah, great job by them to score those 2 tries at the end of the goal. Bit of a miscommunication there, I think, between Cody and Zach to inbound that ball. Unfortunate error by them, but you know, at the end of the day, they still have a 2-try lead and possession to start the fourth. So I'm sure they'll be happy with that, and we're in for an exciting finish here.
It was 27 at the half, and Canada will take a 2-point lead now into the final period, 44-42. You're watching Canada Cup International Wheelchair Rugby action here on CBC Sports and the BC Wheelchair Sports YouTube channel. My name is Wilson Wong, here with Adam Frost, former world champion in wheelchair rugby. I said I was going to say that at least once this tournament. A man providing the expert analysis here for us and throughout this tournament. And we've got another 2 sets of games coming up after this one. We have we have 1 game in the next session, and then that'll be Japan versus Great Britain. And then later this afternoon, Canada will play the U.S., and then France will play Australia at 5 p.m. local time here at the Richmond Oval.
Yeah, a couple of good games this afternoon. We'll see how GB looks against the Japanese squad, who, in my opinion, is the strongest team top to bottom heading into Paris. And, you know, I know that GB didn't perform quite as well as they would have liked at Worlds back in 2022, but they were a little short-handed heading into that tournament. And then, you know, the zonal championships in 23 lost to France in the final, so I'm sure they'll be eager to prove that they are the best team in the European zone. And see if they can start that this weekend. And then Canada-US this afternoon. If you're a Canadian fan, you don't have to get up for those games. Certainly always enjoy them, and usually great games, and I'm very much looking forward to that. I have to work, but I'll do my best to have it on in the background so I can keep my eye on what's happening.
So for those of you who are maybe at work now and have some time later on this afternoon, Canada-US will be a great reason for you to come down to the Richmond Oval and watch the rivalry in person here at the Canada Cup. We want to thank, of course, some of the sponsors of this tournament, which is hosted by BC Wheelchair Sports and Wheelchair Rugby Canada and sanctioned by World Wheelchair Rugby. And the sponsors and supporters include the Government of Canada, the Government of British Columbia, the Richmond Olympic Oval, Steamworks Brewing, Vesco, Richmond Sport Hosting, and Molten. And of course, Molten, the makers of the balls being used here at the Canada Cup. On the floor now for Canada, the four players to start the fourth quarter. You've got Kovac, Liddell, and Whitehead, along with the person inbounding the ball. That's Trevor Hirschfield. And for Australia, as they play defense on this possession, you've got Riley Batt and Nicholson, wearing number 21. And play is stopped.
Yeah, nice job by the Australian defense there to force Hirschfield across the try line. Had to use Canada's last time out there to keep possession of the ball. Canada obviously wants to score the first try of this quarter to regain that 3-try lead. If Australia can stop them, that'd be huge for them, and ability to come back and see if they can claw this one out here in the fourth quarter.
Vernon and Edmondson are the other two Australians on the floor as Medell powers his way through a couple of defenders. 45-42. No more timeouts for Canada. We'll see if that comes into play later on in this one, especially if the game does get closer. Vernon, great job corralling the ball, and finds his teammate Edmondson.
Yeah, that pass was a little behind him, so good job to turn around and pick that up. I thought that was going to go Canada's way there for a moment.
Edmondson trying to find the high pointer on the floor here, and that's Batt getting the score. 2-point gap between Canada and Australia, 45-43. The Australians trailed by 4 late in that last quarter, but doing a good job of closing the gap. And Batt ends up on his back, as well as Canadian player Hirschfield, as Canada scores. It's certainly one of the more jarring scenes you can see in a match. Just players on their back and chairs, these expensive, well-built machines there, kind of up in the air.
Yeah, certainly, everybody, we do our best to not come out of our chairs, and the chairs are built in a way to try to make them as stable as possible, but, with the force of the impacts and
another big collision there.
Speed of the athletes, yeah, you do come out.
So Edmondson taking a couple of big hits, but still with possession for Australia. Across the bat. And checked by Medell. And powering his way through 3 defenders for Canada. Get another try for Australia. 46-44, his team down by 2. Then an equipment timeout called.
Another flat tire for Zach, so bit of a pause in the action to get that fixed. The unsung heroes of this sport are equipment people.
Timeout called by the bench timeout called by Patrick Cote, Canada's head coach since 2017. And on the bench beside him, assistant the great Garrett Hickling, and one of the greatest players in all of wheelchair rugby history.
Yeah, Garrett was certainly the Riley Bad of his generation of athletes back the late 90s, early 2000s.
Hirschfield. Pass for Medell. Knocked loose, but believe it'll be an infraction on Australia.
Yeah, referees called illegal use of hands. Couldn't quite see it through the crowd of people, but Riley must have hit somebody's arm in an attempt to secure that loose ball. So he'll spend a few seconds in the penalty box. He's not quite sure of that yet.
Now he will move into the penalty area. He got his hands on the inbounds pass too and knocked it loose initially. So Canada with the 4-on-3 advantage. And
yeah, they're going to try to trap Riley over there and see if they can force him to call inbounder.
Canada scores to make it 47-44.
So it looks like Coach Duberly is going to use a bench timeout here, so Riley does not have to inbound. Coaches do have two 60-second bench timeouts that they can use during dead balls to talk tactics, or in this case, prevent opposing tactics.
And Vernon pass back to Edmondson. Finds Bat. Kovac tries to stop him, but not successful as Bat able to absorb the hit and then find room down the left side for another try. 47-45. Australia trying to keep within distance of Canada. Medell. Quick pass down to Kovac. And Kovac will score.
Yeah, nice job by Rio to be available for that long pass from Medell.
As you talked about, one of the rising stars in this sport. And pretty good with some of the videography I've seen on social media as well. So
yeah.
Great asset for Wheelchair Rugby Canada, but unfortunately, he will go to the penalty area.
Yeah, didn't help his team there. Took a reaching in foul, probably bad time, and we'll spend 60 seconds in the penalty box.
And Bat will score very quickly. Canada will change its lineup.
Yeah, Coach Cote is going to use his second bench timeout here. Allows him to make a substitution.
Subs will come in. Letourneau, Caldwell, and looks like that's Whitehead wearing number, pardon me, it's not Whitehead. It is Furtado Rodriguez wearing number 41. And Medell was the fourth player on the court. Canada 48, Australia 46. First game for both teams here at the Canada Cup 2024 as we are continuing on the journey to Paris and the Paralympic Games in the French capital. And of course, you can catch all the Paralympic action on CBC Sports this summer, along with their Olympic counterparts.
Yep, very much looking forward to it.
Ball into Medell. Pass towards center. Great interception at center by Shea Graham, but she's called for over and back.
Yeah, it's one of those Great position by her, just unfortunate spot on the court.
She was at least smiling about it. Just unfortunate not to get the payoff on a great play.
Yeah. Quick shift for that balanced lineup for Team Canada. Coach Code must have seen something he didn't like. Perhaps that turnover. Made an adjustment right away.
Hirschfield will put the ball back into play. And the two Australians trying to trap the Canadian over on that far side. Whitehead. Medell in for the try to make it 49-46. We've got just over 5 minutes to go in regulation time. Canada up by 3. Graham getting the ball back on the inbounds and quickly over to Bat. Nicholson trying to create some room for his teammate. Bat, though, in the backcourt, forced to call a timeout.
Yeah, good timeout there by Riley. Try clock down to 29 seconds, which probably only gave him 1 or 2 seconds to get that ball the extra 15 feet over half, so he wasn't going to make it unless somebody was wide open. So no team have any timeouts left now. We'll see how that affects the rest of this game. As you mentioned, 5 minutes to go.
For Canada on the floor, we've got Medell, Whitehead, Hirschfield, and Furtado Rodriguez. And on the floor for Australia, Bat with the ball, we're number 3. We've got Bo Vernon, Graham, and Josh Nicholson.
Mr. Bat able to take advantage of, once again, a bit of space here in the close cone to us. And when you're defending that cone, as the defender out there, your job is really to try to force them into the middle. You have no help behind you. So, one of the sayings we use is nobody scores between you and your cone. And see if Canada is able to tighten that up if they continue to play key defense.
Medell can't find room down the sideline. He'll curl back towards the middle. Hirschfield trying to create some room for him. Medell nearly knocked over by Nicholson. Now passed down to the line. Whitehead will back in for the try. 50-47, Canada ahead with 4:09 to go in the fourth. Over on the other court, if you don't want to know the score, close your ears. Lead player pass, and it's going to be out of play. Turnover against Australia. The pass down the court, and Graham trying to get to it, but just out of her reach.
Yeah, just a little bit out of her reach, and difficult execution there between her and Riley. And going to give Canada a 4-try lead.
And Canada restoring that gap of 4, 51-47. So just a quick update on the other game. 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. It is France 50, the USA 43. Bat weaves in the middle and then down center for a point, 51-48. 3:36 to go in the fourth. Medell into the clear, and then now down for Whitehead, and he will try to eat some seconds off the clock here. That'll give time for Canada's defense to maybe get set up as well. 52 for the Canadians, 48 for Australia. I believe that's a bench timeout for Australia.
Yeah, that'll be their last one of those, and it looks like we're going to see some new players here for Australia, at least one.
That would be number 15, Braden Foxley Connolly. Also on the floor for Australia, McQuillan and Vernon, along with Chris Bond wearing number 10. First touch for Foxley Connolly. He's double teamed in the backcourt, finds Bond. Bond quickly down the floor, and it's going to be McQuillan, the low pointer, scoring and getting Australia to 49 points. 3:03 to go here at the Richmond Olympic Oval. Canada ahead of Australia 52-49. And it's Medell working against Foxley Connolly. Hesitates, stops, and then will move towards the near cone and score for Canada 53-49. These two teams played a 1-point overtime game at the Olympic qualifying tournament in the final, which allowed both these teams to clinch their spots for Paris. Inbounds pass loose and then intercepted by Medell. And Canada will slow the play down here. No need for them to hurry. Holding a good 4-point lead and just over 2.5 minutes to go. Medell will score with 2:23 on the clock, 54-49 for Canada. Foxley Connolly. Towards the key. And play is stopped for, looks like an infraction against Canada.
Looked like perhaps a reaching in foul by number 2, Byron Green.
And so Canada will make some more subs. Whitehead and Kovac back into the game, and then the veteran wearing number 2, Travis Morau, in for the Canadians as well. Foxley Connolly, Bond. Eases his way in for the try, 54-50. Australia down by 4. Green, Morau. Can't be stopped by Foxley Connolly, and now Kovac will score here, 55-50. They give Canada a 5-point lead.
Yeah, nice job by there. Nice job there by Travis to inbound the ball and then advance it over center. He's been sitting on the bench for most of this game, so to come in cold like that and make an impact right away, it's sometimes challenging to do.
Ball knocked loose and staying with Australia. Whitehead, as we see, getting his hands on the ball. Sabeljack back in play for Australia. And Canada will try to bring a sub in as well. Edmondson back on the floor. Too late for the Canadians, but I don't think they're worrying too much right now. It's a 4-point lead after that last try by Foxley Connolly.
Yeah, coaches are with 2 minutes to go and the game really not in doubt anymore. Looks like coaches are just managing energy of some of their players. They know we're going to see lots of minutes as this tournament progresses on.
Whitehead with possession. Pass to his left for Kovac as Foxley Connolly ends up on his back. In fact, the contact was actually from his own teammate, Edmondson. I believe this will give Canada a chance to bring in another sub. Matt Devley looking to come in. He was getting instructions from assistant Garrett Hickling. Sabblejack down to Foxley Connolly. Gets past Green and gets the score, 56-52. Australia down by 4. Kovac. Trying to get room and out to Travis Morau. And then Whitehead. Nicely executed by the Canadians as they enter the final minute of this game. 57-52. So these two teams are always very competitive, but a nice win here for Canada.
Yeah, they'll be very happy, of course, beating Australia to open the tournament. They've really had the lead now for 3 quarters and haven't looked back since they took the lead, and have played a solid game start to finish.
Morau at center. And Canada will just be content to run out the clock here on the last couple of possessions here. Turnover, though, at center, and then actually recovered by the Canadians. 9 on the possession clock, and Morau wheels his way through for a score. It's 58-53. Foxley Connolly. And checked by Kovac, and then now Morau at center. Pass down to Edmondson, and he will get the last score of the game as the clock stops with half a second. Canada will inbound and clinch the win in their opening game here at the Canada Cup, 58-54 over Australia. So they get a bit of revenge over the Australians after losing to them in the Paralympic qualification tournament final.
Yeah, good start for Team Canada. Good start for both teams. I think that, without knowing the game plans for the coaches, obviously Australia wanted to get everybody on the court and look at a variety of different lineups. And, perhaps that cost them a couple of tries. But obviously Coach Duberly is okay with that. And I'm sure that if these teams meet again, I don't want to say we'll see a different result, but I'm sure we'll see a much closer game if a medal is on the line.
And that, of course, the medals will be handed out Sunday, but we've got a few great days of competition just beginning here at the Richmond Oval. And for those of you wondering for our next game, that will be coming up at 2 p.m. local time. Japan and Great Britain here, the lone game of that session here at the Richmond Oval. That's in about 80 minutes time here in Richmond. So once again, for Adam Frost, I'm Wilson Wong. Thank you very much for joining us here, and we hope you will continue to watch the Canada Cup here on cbcsports.ca and the BC Wheelchair Sports YouTube channel.